Hey everyone, this is Zooc, and today I'm going to be doing a Stalker, Protoss Stalker, obviously. I haven't been very active lately, all this week, because I've been fixing my shit up for applying for Adobe. They have a position open for graphic designer, so I'm taking my shot there, see how that goes. So, yeah. The past couple of days have been a pain in the ass. I had to, me and my friend had to fix up a website from scratch, and I had to find a resume I liked and write it in two languages, and it was just, I just didn't have time for anything really. Yesterday I worked for 12 hours on fixing my stuff up. Anyway, enough of that. A lot of people have asked for the Stalker. I don't know why, because it's a very simplistic character. I mean, there's not going to be that much to say about it, really. It all looks the same. It all has the same. It's made of metal, so it has the same texture all over. But I guess I'll try to come up with things as we go along. So I'm just doing my initial sketch now. This is going to be useful for people that have watched my shading tutorial, to see how how I treat concave edges and round surfaces, because that's what Stalker is mostly made of. It's just a bunch of metal parts. You know, the classic tubes and rings that everyone knows and loves. So I'm just doing my initial sketch. It's all going well, as you can see. I'm starting to look like a Stalker should. And the only thing I found semi-difficult about the Stalker was, nothing is difficult about it really. It's just it takes a lot of time. I did a bunch of experimenting on this drawing with different kinds of pencils, like woodless graphite, to see how it goes. That's an HB right there. It's okay for small stuff, but it started annoying me when I got to shading larger areas. It's just not good enough. Texture is kind of meh, at least on this paper. So then I used different hardness pencils just to see how things go with them. In the end, I used my classic short 7B, and then I went to the 4B for the smaller details. I'm almost out of that pencil. It's so tiny now. It's gonna be pretty bad when I run out of it. I'm just hoping that the post office doesn't send my new pencils back, because they have a habit of doing that. They lose my shit, and or they send it back. It's happened plenty. But that's what this country brings forth with it. It's not so great if you want to order stuff from the U.S. especially. So I'm just trying out different pencils now, trying to see what I'm comfortable with. The reason I did that, and I have no idea where the hell those stains came from. It's just, I swear I didn't spill anything on it. It must have been something on my desk that got through the paper. Those are grease stains, and there was nothing greasy on my desk, because I always check before I started drawing, but that was weird. Maybe it's poltergeist or something, who knows. Anyway. The reason I did the whole experimenting thing was because the Stalker is just so bland in terms of texture that I decided to see, usually I don't experiment. I know what I go with from the start, but in this case I wanted to see if indeed my choice of pencils was wrong, or if I'm too hard-headed to switch to something else. But no, and eventually I was right. I mean, I do like the 7B and the 4B most of all, and I'll probably not switch from those anytime soon. So the Stalker, as the Dark Templar, has a lot of rings and jewelry and decoration and stuff on it. But other than that, it's just very even planar surfaces, and those are pretty easy to shade. This video took about 2 hours in total. So it's shorter than usual. I mean, I kind of played around with stuff to make it feel like I actually did some work, but if I was in a rush, I would have gone through it probably in an hour, because it's just so flat. Everything about it is flat. Probably, I think I'm gonna do the Colossus next, maybe. The challenge is that, and that is because it has a lot of really long limbs, so freehand they're a bit more challenging to get right than these short limbs, because you can always, like, when you draw for a long time and your eye gets used to stuff, it's harder to see what's correct and what isn't on your paper. So the Colossus is probably going to be a bit more fun to draw than this character, but a lot of people wanted it, and I guess I'm just a pushover, so I did it anyway. I mean, it does look cool. I think it does look kind of cool. It's not like boring or anything. It's just when I draw something, I like to have a lot of diversity in it. I like to have, like, that's why I draw Zerg, because you can Zerg. Damn, my pronunciation's off. Because you can just experiment with a lot of things and like improvise a lot and add extra spikes and extra stuff. But on characters like this, where they're more technical than anything, I find it harder to improvise. And I know some people are gonna say, yeah, but you can add extra plates and whatever's, but it's just not the same thing. Sometimes improvising isn't the best thing you can do when something looks good on its own. Like, a creature that is organic and very irregular and very spiky and nasty like Zergar, then you can never go wrong with too many improvs. But on a character like this, which is supposed to be nice and smooth, adding a lot of extra stuff just kind of ruins it in the end if you don't know when to stop. So right now I'm doing the leg in the back, and as per usual, I don't make it as detailed as the other ones. And now I'm doing the front one, which is, again, it's very simplistic. I mean, compared to the Dark Templar and the humanoid sort of units, the Stalker isn't really as decorated as the others are. I guess Blizzard thought of that just to show that machines can't really be as personalized as humanoids can, especially the Dark Templar, since they're part of a different race, so they have a lot of embellishments and jewelry and extra decorations on them. They're more individualized, so to say, compared to Zealots and Stalkers and the typical units. So I'm just trying to do my best to show like the concave surfaces. As you can see on the hovering plate on its left, I darken the insides of the curves just to show that, hey, there's no light there, and there's a darker surface because it's going away from the viewer. So it's all really just basic stuff that I mentioned in the shading video. Nothing really special. I guess the cloth was the most fun part to draw on this character, because it was the only thing that's not shiny, flat, and mechanical. First off, I don't know why I looked at it when I was done with it and hated it, but then once I looked at it a few more times, it looked kind of okay. I don't know why I disliked it. It's just because it didn't impress me as much as other characters do. I guess I just get very attached to what I draw. So when something isn't impressive on its own, it just doesn't. The drawing of it doesn't impress me as much as it would if I found the character fascinating. Personally, of course, I don't know what you guys like or find fascinating, but some characters are just more interesting than others to me. Well, the Stalker just seems sort of a plain unit, it's a basic unit. It's not fantastic, it's not special in any way, it's just sort of a cannon fodder, if you would call it that. So there's really not much else to say about this drawing, except doing the same thing over and over again, shading metal surfaces. It's always the same, nothing special to it. Just grab the blending stump after the pencil layer and just smudge all of it, and then try to erase out the highlights, and that's about it. So I'm sure this wasn't very educational, and I'm very aware of that, but I still hope you enjoyed it, and I'm gonna get back to hoping that Adobe hires me now. So I'll see you in my next video. I don't know what it's gonna be, either a tutorial or drawing, one of those two. I'm not sure yet, but I'll see you then. Bye.